the beginning of the story, we see a cunning thief named Morris, who is being caught by the police in a bank robbery case and taken to be imprisoned for life in the world's most secure prison, Alcatraz. Alcatraz is a prison built on a small island in the middle of the sea. That is, even if a prisoner breaks out of jail, he cannot escape because the water blocks his path ahead. That is why this prison held the status of the most secure prison in the world. Only the world's top criminals were kept here. But soon, the reputation of this prison was going to be dragged through the mud. Because now, a cunning thief named Frank Morris had entered this prison, who had broken out of jail and escaped many times before. But this time Morris was a little nervous because this prison was extremely secure. However, Morris did not want to spend his entire life here at all. He wanted to escape from this prison as soon as possible. As soon as he entered the prison, Morris started thinking about escaping. After a full head-to-toe check, Morris is locked in a cell. A guard comes and says to Morris, "Welcome to Alcatraz," and the real story begins from here. Then suddenly a bell rings and the gates of all the cells open automatically. Officers call the prisoners out. The discipline of this prison is also very strict. Prisoners have to follow rules regarding cleanliness and going to their cells on time. Everyone comes to eat breakfast in a line wearing the same uniform. In front of Morris is a prisoner named Litmus. Morris asks, "I didn't even get a fork. Now how will I eat noodles?" Litmus says to him, "Hey, this isn't your house. Whatever you've got, eat it quietly." Then a dangerous prisoner named Wolf starts teasing Morris. Every prisoner in the jail was troubled by Wolf. He used to impose his will on every prisoner here, and there are many cases of rape against him as well. Dangerous prisoners, one better than the other, are kept in this prison. Here Litmus asks Morris for some food, and during this Morris gives him his plate. When Morris looks under the table, he finds out that Litmus is not eating the food himself but is giving it to a mouse. At night, a guard takes Morris to the warden. When Morris reaches the warden's office, the warden says to Morris, "I know that you have a very sharp mind and are very intelligent. But what use is all that? He is good." The warden is a very strict person who gives very strict punishments to prisoners even for the slightest mistake. The warden says, "Don't even think of escaping from here. Otherwise you will be blown to pieces." To which Morris replies, "No sir, who can think of escaping from here while you are around?" But in reality, from the very first day, the planning to escape from here had started in Morris's mind. During this, seeing an opportunity, Morris steals the warden's nail cutter, which was otherwise a very small thing. But Morris knew that in a prison like Alcatraz, even this small nail cutter could be used for a very big task. As soon as Morris returns to the cell, he hides this nail cutter in the Bible. The next day in the bathroom, Wolf starts bothering Morris again. But this time, Morris was not going to let him go. Now Morris shows his real form and, catching him, gives him a good thrashing. After beating Wolf, Morris now had a different status in the entire prison. Everyone started fearing Morris. After this, Morris is given work in the library. There he meets a man named English. He is a senior prisoner of this jail. English was also sentenced to life imprisonment for the murder of 2 men. He has spent half his life in this jail and is familiar with every nook and corner of it. He stays informed about everything in the prison. He also knows that there was a fight between Morris and Wolf this morning. He gives Morris some books, which Morris has to deliver to every prisoner's cell. The next scene shows an open area where prisoners are playing some game. Then he meets an artist named Doc, who is making a painting of himself. Doc is a very simple and decent person who has been serving his sentence here for many years. He was very fond of painting and spent most of his time in painting. Doc said that anyone could go crazy in a prison like Alcatraz, but because of his painting, his mind is still functioning normally. Morris asks Doc, "Why have you made this flower in this painting? There is nothing like this on your shirt." Doc says, "This is my happiness, which is only in the painting, not in my heart." After that, when Morris looks to his right, he sees English above. Morris goes towards English. When Morris goes near him, his disciples stop Morris. Then English gestures that he is our man, let him come. Morris goes and sits near him and immediately brings up what's in his heart. Morris says to him, "Will you help me escape from here?" Hearing this, English starts laughing. "Look son, this is not just a prison, this is the grave for all of us. If we have to get out of here, we have to die first. Only then will our dead body be able to reach the cemetery from here. Even if I assume that you climbed these big walls and after that crossed the dangerous forces, and by some magical power you escaped hundreds of guards here and got out of the prison, even then you won't be able to escape from here because the sea will block your path ahead. Therefore, don't waste time and serve your sentence quietly. At least you will remain alive." But Morris was firm in his resolve. He wanted to escape from this prison at all costs. That night, an officer tells Morris that you have been given carpentry work from tomorrow. A daily wage of 50 cents per hour will also be given. Morris immediately agreed to this work because he felt that he might find some tool there that could be useful in his escape. The next day, Morris asks Litmus the way to escape from here. Litmus says, "Oh, it's very easy. There is an air vent in every cell. Through that you can reach the roof. From there maybe you can escape." And smiling at Morris's words, he leaves from there. Then Doc warns Morris that Wolf is coming towards you. Just then, Wolf comes to attack Morris with a knife. Morris wraps his coat around his hand and starts fighting with him. Meanwhile, a guard comes to stop them, so Wolf attacks the guard with the knife too. Now the matter gets worse, and the guard in the watchtower starts shooting. Only then do Morris and Wolf stop fighting. Morris did not know that there was a guard on the watchtower as well. He now starts noticing everything about this prison one by one. Guards take Morris and Wolf to D Block, where prisoners are tortured by being kept in the dark all night. This was a cell where no prisoner wanted to go. Before going, Wolf threatens Morris, "Son, your death will be at my hands." That night, Morris has to endure various tortures, due to which his condition becomes quite bad. After staying in this dark cell for 2 weeks, they bring him back to his cell, where Litmus sends a note to Morris through his pet mouse on which is written, "Welcome back, Morris." One day, a new prisoner named Charlie comes who is kept in the cell next to Morris. Morris and Charlie soon become friends. Morris then introduces him to his other friends as well. At the same time, the warden checks every prisoner's cell without telling anyone. When he goes to Doc's cell, there are many paintings made by him in Doc's cell. The warden is surprised that his paintings are increasing day by day. Doc had also made a painting of the warden. Seeing it, the warden starts smiling, but don't know why. The next day, the warden orders the guards to throw out all the paintings made in Doc's cell. This decision of the warden completely broke Doc from inside because Doc was living only with the support of his paintings. He loved every single painting he made because here it was his only joy, and that too was snatched away from that poor man. Morris explains to him that it's okay, they were just paintings. You can make more. But Doc was not able to come out of this shock. The next day, seeing him, Morris says to the guard, "Please keep an eye on Doc. He looks very troubled, lest he harms himself." Then the guard says to Morris, "You mind your own business." Doc is also given carpentry work along with Morris. Then Doc secretly puts something in Morris's pocket. After that, he calls a guard and cuts off his 3 fingers with the axe given for carpentry and says, "I don't need the fingers with which I cannot paint." Saying this, he starts screaming. Then the guards catch him and take him away. Morris sees that Doc has put the same flower in his coat with which he made his painting. Perhaps he wants to tell Morris that these people snatched my happiness from me. Morris picks up Doc's cut fingers, puts them in a box, and says to the guard, "Go and give it to your warden. He will be very happy seeing this." The next day, Morris is sitting in his cell. Then he sees a cockroach going inside the air vent, which gives him an idea that there must be some way to go out from here. Meanwhile, English comes and tells that Doc cut his own fingers because his permission to paint was cancelled. That is why, being fed up, he cut his fingers. Knowing this, Morris gets very angry. The next day in the dining hall, the warden asks Morris, "Why are you supporting this Doc so much?" He says it's nothing like that. Saying this, Morris goes back and sits at the table. There he meets 2 brothers, John and Clarence. But Morris talks to them as if he knew them from before. John and Clarence were actually in Morris's gang in another prison. John now started to find the task of escaping from prison easy, because both these brothers were sharp-minded like Morris, and now all 3 started planning to escape from prison. In the afternoon, Charlie's girlfriend comes to meet him. On the other hand, English's daughter has come to meet him. As soon as English sees his daughter, tears come to his eyes because his daughter had grown up quite a bit in his absence, and English had a lot of regret for not being able to see his daughter's childhood. On the other hand, Charlie's wife tells him that your mother is very ill, and doctors say that she won't be able to survive for more than a month or 2. Hearing this, now Charlie also starts thinking of escaping from Alcatraz, and just then the guard comes and says that the time to talk is over. Now Charlie is very troubled. That night he says to Morris, "If you make a plan to escape from here, then include me too." The next day, Morris, Charlie, John and Clarence have a meeting. Then Morris tells them that every cell's air vent opens on the roof above, and the second thing is that this place is in the middle of a sea filled with salt water, because of which the walls have become weak. I have a nail cutter, and I have already started digging. If I dig little by little and make a small tunnel to reach the roof, then after inspecting this place it will be known how to escape from here. John asks, "At night, if the guards find out that you are not in your cell, won't they be suspicious?" Then Clarence tells that, I have the solution to this problem. He says that, there is a barber of my acquaintance here who cuts prisoners' hair. He can supply us hair, and using that we will make a dummy head and lay it on the bed. After which, even if we go out through the wall tunnel and are on the roof above, the guards won't suspect because dummy heads will be placed on our cell beds. But the matter was still stuck on the point that we will get out of the jail, but how will we cross the seawater? Morris says to John, look, I will need your help in this. You work in the clothing department. There you will find raincoats made for those police officers. So you steal some raincoats and give them to me. We can cross the sea by making a tube boat and life jackets from them. Here Charlie says, brother, give me some work too. I also want to help you guys. Morris says to Charlie that when I dig the ventilation grate, you keep watch so that no guard sees us, and when you dig, I will keep watch. Everyone likes Morris's plan, and they start work that very night. But the nail cutter was too small to dig the wall, to operate which Morris had to apply a lot of force, and Morris was having a lot of difficulty in digging the wall. He also got some small injuries in his hand, but he slowly starts digging that hole. The next day he says to his friends at the dining table that, I need a bigger tool for digging. It is becoming very difficult to dig the wall with a nail cutter. Then seeing the spoon in his hand, an idea came to Morris's mind. He intentionally rubs the spoon on his shoe and makes it dirty. After that, Morris called the guard and said that, this spoon is dirty. Give me another spoon. Other people also requested the guard to change their spoon. The guard didn't find anything wrong in this, and he immediately allowed changing the spoon. After which he directly moves towards the table, where another security guard is sitting on a seat. But as soon as he starts changing the spoons kept on the table, John engaged the guard present there in conversation. Taking advantage of which, Morris picked up 2 spoons instead of 1, and hid one in his pocket. After which he goes straight to his cell. At night, when English comes to give him a book, Morris asks, will any equipment for welding be available here? English understands that the obsession of escaping from jail is still on Morris's head. He says, I have told you before that your attempt will be futile, because you will be caught, and maybe even lose your life. In all these years, the thought of escaping never occurred to me because I know it's impossible. But if you are stubborn, then what can I do? Try it, but Morris is not affected by his warning. The next day he asks Litmus for matches and says that, if you help me, I will give my portion of food to your mouse every day. Litmus happily accepts this deal, because Litmus liked the mouse very much. That same night, Litmus passes his matches to Morris. Morris takes out a handle of the nail cutter with which he is going to make a small shovel. Then he breaks the spoon and joins it with the handle of the nail cutter. Then lighting a match, he welds both well, and prepares a sharp tool. That was it, he starts digging around the vent. Charlie keeps watch. If any guard comes that way, he will immediately signal Morris by whistling. But while keeping watch, Charlie falls asleep, and just then a guard comes there. But luckily at the exact moment English came in between and distracted that guard's attention, and while listening to English's conversation, Charlie also woke up, but in tension he couldn't even whistle, after which he drops something. So Morris, understanding his signal, covers the vent and lies on the bed. The guard asks, there is a smell of something burning here. Morris says, sir, while you are around, would anyone dare to smoke? I am not getting any smell. That guard also felt cool, satisfied, that, at least someone appreciates me. As soon as he left, Morris removed the concrete around the vent, but he sees that screws are also driven in with the ventilation grate, to cut which a sharp tool will be needed. During this, whenever Morris got a chance to go out, he would quietly drop the cement taken out from the grill outside. The next day, while doing carpentry work, he picks up a metal, which is sharp like a knife. But Charlie says to him, escaping from the metal detector, how will you take this outside? Morris says with a lot of confidence that, I will see to all that. When Morris goes out, the metal detector at the door starts ringing. Actually, Morris had brought the metal in his hand. The guard asks, why are you taking this? Morris says, sir, I thought I would use it for hanging clothes. The guard says, don't be too smart and give that to me. Saying this, the guard takes that metal from him and after checking Morris thoroughly lets him go. But our hero is a hero. Actually, he had stolen 2 metals. He had brought one in his hand and kept the second one hidden in his shoes. With that sharp metal, he cuts the grill. Now comes the turn to make dummy heads to dodge the guards, for which these 4 do their respective responsibilities. Charlie asks for some paint from the guard. He says to the guard that, I am fond of making art. The guard also doesn't refuse, and brings and gives paint to him. Morris grinds the concrete removed from that hole and makes a powder. John brings hair by collecting it from the barber shop, and Clarence collects old books from the library. After all the material is collected, Morris starts making a dummy head using water and old magazines. By applying paint and dummy hair over it, he prepares a dummy head that looks absolutely real. Along with this, to further strengthen his plan, Morris made fake cardboard so that no one would be able to suspect that someone has made a tunnel in the front wall. One night, Morris decided to go up alone, for which he kept his made dummy skull on the bed and covered it with a blanket up to the neck, after which he takes the fake cardboard and comes out of the tunnel. There, Morris, holding the pipes, slowly climbs up to the roof. On the other hand, Charlie is keeping watch outside. After reaching the roof, Morris sees that there is an iron grill above which he cannot reach even by jumping. Meanwhile, a guard comes and asks Charlie, "Why are you painting so late at night? And why did your friend Morris sleep so early today?" Charlie says, "Yes sir, today Morris got tired while doing carpentry work. Therefore he slept early." Then suddenly the guard's stick falls down from his hand. While picking it up, he sees that Morris's hair looks very strange. Now Charlie starts trembling with fear that, "Today we are done for." The guard puts his hand inside Morris's cell and touches his hair. So Morris asks, "What happened, sir? Is my hair that beautiful?" Luckily, at the exact moment, Morris had come down and lay there. The next day, Morris tells his companions that there is a path on the roof, but it has been kept tied with a grill, and that grill is at a great height. "I need the help of one more companion." Then John says that, "I have dug my vent completely. Tonight I will also reach there. Both will open the grill together." That same night, Morris and John reach the roof through their vents. John lifts Morris, and Morris catches the grill. John sees that this iron grill is very strong and it has been fully welded. There is only one way to remove it, and that is to cut it with a drill machine. The next day in music class, everyone is playing an instrument of their choice. Then Morris's eyes fall on a small fan kept there. Seeing which, Morris feels that he can work on it and make a drill machine. For which he says to Charlie that somehow hide this fan from here. Charlie very easily hides this small fan in his instrument box. When Charlie comes out, guards check his instrument box too, but they don't see the fan, and Charlie is allowed to go. As soon as that fan gets into Morris's hands, Morris starts working on it, and after many hours, Morris prepares a drill machine from that fan. That night, Morris and Charlie climb onto the roof and start cutting that iron rod with the drill machine. The sound of the drill machine was quite loud, hearing which guards start coming up, but by then Morris cuts one rod of the grill, and the drilling sound stops. After the drill sound stops, the guard ignores it and goes back. Now these four had opened all their paths to escape, after which they were going to escape from the world's most secure prison, Alcatraz, on Tuesday night, from which no one has been able to escape till today. The next day they have their meeting again, and that too in the movie hall where everyone is watching a movie. Amidst the sound of the movie, Morris asks John and Clarence, "Is your vent ready, and what about those raincoats from which we were going to make tubes and life jackets?" They tell that everything is ready. "Our dummy head is also perfectly ready, only the wait to escape is left." The next morning during breakfast, Morris kept the flour given by Doc on the table. When the warden saw this flour, he came to their table and crushed the flour kept there. Seeing this, Litmus gets very angry because this flour was Doc's favorite and Doc was dead. Litmus attacks him in anger, saying, "On one hand you killed Doc, and on the other hand you are not even leaving a small memento given by him." But as soon as he attacks the warden, he suddenly has a heart attack and falls down. Morris gets very angry at the warden, and the four decide to escape that very night. Morris was waiting for midnight so that the guard's watch becomes a bit weak, then we will be able to escape easily. Just then in Morris's cell, English gives him some books. So Morris says, "I want to shake hands with you for the last time." English understands that Morris has made a firm plan to escape from here. He quietly leaves from here. But then what happens is something Morris had not thought of at all. The warden suddenly comes to check his cell, as if someone had told him about his plan. Morris gets very nervous because after so many months of hard work, his effort was going to go in vain. The warden ordered checking every single corner of Morris's cell. The guard checks every single thing of Morris's cell. But Morris was no ordinary prisoner that he had made some small plan. Rather, he had made a very clean and perfect plan, which not only the warden but even the warden's grandfather could not catch. Even when the guard removed the suitcase from exactly that place where Morris had made the tunnel and the path to escape, there too Morris was not caught because he had already made a fake cardboard and fitted it very finely into the wall. When nothing is found there, the warden and the guard leave, but the guard tells that Morris and Charlie keep talking all night. "I suspect something fishy." The warden says, "Okay, tomorrow you change Morris's cell, so that both will neither stay together nor be able to talk." The next day at breakfast time, Wolf threatens Morris again and says to Morris, "Tonight will be your last night." Morris says to his companions, "This donkey is saying right, tonight will indeed be my last night here." But in the afternoon itself, Wolf goes to attack Morris with a knife. Then English comes in between and catches Wolf. Actually, English also wants to help Morris, whether he succeeds or not, but English wants to help in Morris's work. That night, Morris, John, Clarence, and Charlie decided to come out through their respective vent paths and meet on the roof above. Here, Charlie agrees to escape with his companions. But then, as soon as he reaches the cell, he starts getting nervous. Sitting alone in the cell, he decided not to be part of the plan, and his other three companions reach up to the roof through their respective vent paths. All three wait for Charlie for a long time, but after quite some time passes, when they feel that Charlie will not come, they decide to leave, leaving Charlie behind. Those three started moving forward according to their plan. But here, before Charlie's eyes, the dream of his freedom was moving further away. Those three slowly started escaping by hiding from the searchlight. In this way, hiding, they reach the end of the building. Then enthusiasm comes in the heart of Charlie sitting in the cell, and he also makes up his mind to escape. He comes out through his vent path and reaches up to the roof. But now it was too late, because alone he was not able to reach that door above. That is, he lost the chance of his freedom because of fear. On the other hand, those three, hanging by pipes on the roof, come down to the ground and escaping from the eyes of the security guard sitting in the tower, they reach the last wall of the prison, and then all three climb that fence wall one by one and come out of the prison. Now those three, running fast, came to the seashore. Then those three take out the raincoats and start filling air into them through their mouths. It was taking them a lot of time to fill by mouth. But other than this, they had no other way. Therefore, all three, applying their full strength, somehow finally inflate the tube boat made of raincoats and put the boat in water. In this way, these three escape, dragging Alcatraz's reputation through the mud. The next morning, a guard is checking every cell. In the beginning, everything looks normal to the guard. But when they reach Charlie, Charlie is standing in his cell like a ghost and is taunting himself in his heart that, "I wish I had gathered a little courage last night, then maybe I would have escaped with the others." The guard asks, "Why is your friend sleeping for so long?" Saying this, he goes into Morris's cell and calls out to him. But no answer is received from Morris's side, so the guard gets angry and opens the cell and tries to lift him by catching his hair. But when the guard pulls him upwards forcefully, the head falls down. Seeing this, the ground slipped from under the guard's feet because Morris is not in the cell now, but is enjoying the outside world. On the bed, he had left his dummy head. After which, sirens start ringing in the whole of Alcatraz. This word spread in the entire jail that some prisoners have escaped from the jail. After which, the warden starts searching for those three in every nook and corner of the jail. When those three are not found inside the jail, the warden runs a search operation in the sea. The warden doesn't believe that those three escaped. He feels that all three must have died in the water. But deep down, the warden knew that those three were very strong. Those three crossing the seawater must be taking the breath of freedom now. Officers from the headquarters keep raising question after question to the warden. "Were you sleeping when those three escaped?" The warden is in a lot of tension. But just then, the warden finds Doc's favorite flower there. This meant that Morris also wanted to take revenge for Doc from the warden. Then the head of the search team comes and tells that, "Sir, the search has been done everywhere." But their bodies were not found. Now the warden, to save his job and his own image, says to him, "Write the report as I say. Write that all three tried to escape, but they drowned in the water and died." But no one believed this word of the warden. After which, Morris became famous all over the world by the name of Genius for breaking Alcatraz jail. 1 year after this incident, Alcatraz jail was closed because now there was no guarantee that no one could escape from here. In this way, this film made on a true story ends.